come in that we've been meeting. See, I ain't told nobody this, but we've been meeting. And you might not never see them, but they won't in. But they question always are they gonna do like the rest of the candidates who got in office and then they disappeared? They talk loud, they did all that during the election, and then disappeared. So my question is, are you gonna stay genuine? Are you gonna stay to the cause? Are you gonna let us know you still there even after 3 good years of being in office? Are you gonna still let us know you're there? Thank you.
I'll be the first to say that I absolutely love that question. Because I think for many of us up here, the reason that we are running is because we know that the county has been status quo for far too long. Okay. I can tell you personally in the DA's office, because I was there for 24 years, Lisa was there for a while, Angela was there, that it has been status quo. It has been on autopilot for quite some time. I can handle it. I can tell you that, as a Black woman, I'm a double minority in a field where it was taboo for me to even be there. When I would go into the community and talk to people who are African American, they would say to me, "Why are you a prosecutor? You should be a defense attorney. You're on the wrong team." They would say those kinds of things to me. And so I would have to explain to them how important and how critical this role is, not just for African Americans, but for everyone. Because I think everyone in this room at the end of the day wants a community that is safe, but they want a DA that's going to be fair when they do it. And so that's what I will promise you. I will do my best to keep the community safe, but I promise you that I will do it fairly. And whatever the outcome is, whatever justice demands is what I'll do. So I appreciate the question. Thank you for that.
I guess the only way I know how to answer that question, the best way I know how to answer that question is just tell you why I'm running. And it's pretty much out of pure rage. Because when I worked for Commissioner Lisa Simmons and for a year and a half, and kind of like Tiffany, just seeing there's like this sense of entitlement of people that are in county government and they create this cocoon where I'm not talking about Elisa here, obviously, but like the Republicans, they create this cocoon that nobody can penetrate, and that they like set themselves apart from the community. And it was like just kind of angered me and disgusted me, because when you and I don't want to keep bringing it back to the mothers with the jail deaths. I'm going to try not to do that for everything tonight, but like if you can't be moved by that, when there's a mother coming to commissioner's court that has lost their kid because of the incompetence of Bill Wayburn in the jail and all the failures that led to that before, like you have no business serving in county government. And I don't know if it's the healthiest motivation, but it is the motivation that I draw on, is just being angry about that and thinking like I grew up in this community and I know the people here are good people that deserve better than this. And so I don't see that fire burning out. And I'm going to keep it going once I'm in office too.
Yeah. Like
you're passionate.
I like that.
I've been about it forever, being, police officer, being a prosecutor and a defense attorney. I've always been about people. Even as a police officer, I used to organize community block parties because I care about the community. I care about people in general. And that's why when I'm in office, I'm going to continue having Docket. I don't think you get elected and just stop hearing the voices of the people. So you don't ever have to worry about me going anywhere, because I'm going to be coming to you. I'm going to be coming to each community. Like next month, I'll be in Como. I'm going to keep this thing moving, even in office. Because I know who's going to get me there, and I'm not going to forsake them for anything.
Thank you for the question. I feel like part of the reason why I decided to run is because I was like, what happens to all these people who have good intentions and they just like they get eaten up by the political system and like lose their integrity in a lot of ways. And my first lesson after my first job out of college was one about how it doesn't matter how much you think you're gonna follow through. What are the systems that you're creating for yourself so that you do follow through? And so I think that to me is really important, just as like a very small example, when I went in to get my MBA, I'd heard that it was a place where like, it's so easy to decide you want to do something good when you get there. And then all of a sudden, like there's all these companies recruiting you and you can get all these jobs and stuff. So before I started, my email password to myself for my university account was a message to myself about why are you here? And so every time I had to enter it was like a reminder, like don't forget, right? And I think coming into this role, to Lisa's point, to everyone's point, it's like, what is that accountability to community? And I plan to have an accountability council, hopefully made up of people, like anybody who volunteers for the campaign, then they can elect an accountability council that I'm gonna meet with quarterly to say like, hey, accountability and support, right? Because I think it's both things, because there's a lot of stuff that we're gonna face that we don't know it's coming, right? Until we're in those positions. But how do we both I consider accountability an invitation and not an attack. And so I think when you see it like that, then you welcome it and you interact with accountability differently. So that's what I'm committed to doing.
So authenticity is one of the things that I am so passionate about, and it's not popular all the time to remain authentic, because I have always said, this is my third time running for office, but at each time I've said I don't want to compromise my beliefs. I don't want to run as somebody, and then once I get in the position, have to be somebody else. I don't want to have to remember who I said I was going to be.
Right.
I just want to be me all the time. And so I know that is costing me some endorsements, probably costing me some donations, but I'm still going to remain true, because one, I answer to God, and then two, I have to answer to myself. The reason I'm running is for my son. So, when my opponent voted for vouchers, I said, that's not going to help us. And so I have to look at my son every day who has special needs. I'm running for him. I didn't have time to wait. That's why I jumped in the race when I did, because he's already 13. He's already in 6th grade. I don't have a lot of time. So I'm accountable to him, but I'm accountable to everyone. I plan to, just like they said, I plan to have town hall meetings. When I first worked for a legislator, that is what she did. And I always knew that if I became a legislator, that is the type of person I would be. I would have the town hall meetings. My opponent incumbent has never had a town hall meeting that I'm aware of, and he owns an event center. So, and the people have asked him repeatedly, when are you going to come tell us what's going on? The people want to know. The people who elected you want to know, and we have that obligation to make sure that they know what's going on. So I have no intention of changing. I'm gonna be Ebony. I've been in this community working, and so you're voting for the Ebony that you see out working in this community and fighting for the people every day.
Thank you for the question, because I think it is something important for me and the judicial candidates particularly to start thinking about. My slogan is fearlessly fair. I have a long history of speaking truth to power loudly and in public forums. Won't get into it here, but if you have questions, I'll talk about it later. But there are rules about judicial conduct. We cannot speak publicly about cases that might wind up in our courtroom. And I'm running for a felony one. So that means these high profile murders, these high profile sexual assaults, I can't do what I have typically done, which is letting people know what I think the issues are, which is letting people know my opinion on the matter. So it's a fair question, because I am going to have to change my typical presentation on that because of the demands of the job. But I will stay authentic and true to myself and true to my principles, because number one, I don't know any other way. I've been very lucky to be a defense attorney for 18 years, meaning that I don't have a boss over my shoulder telling me what I can say and what I can't say. I've had a lot of freedom in that regard, and I'm very grateful for it. But I think the way to stay authentic is, if I can't communicate my feelings, then I need to communicate the facts. And I need to make sure that I'm still out there in the community telling people what is happening in my courtroom, how our trial docket is, maybe how our jury selections have gone, how many people we are calling in for the panel, so they know what kind of response we're getting from people in response to jury summons. If I can't tell you what's going on in my heart, I will be able to tell you what's going on in my mind.
Just hang on. I got light. Okay, we got sound. All right. Yeah. So I think to answer that question, I have to give you a little of my background because you want to know the authentic me. All right. I love this country. Okay. I grew up through the scouting organization. I'm an Eagle Scout and currently a Scoutmaster. I joined the Army right out of high school. I deployed to Iraq in 2005, 2006. I did this and said, yes, I write a blank paycheck with my life, defend this country. All right. So when it comes to constitutional issues, I believe very strongly in our Constitution. And as a judge, I want to uphold the Constitution. I don't see that changing in any way if I become a judge. And I want that Constitution to mean something and not to get watered down. And I worry that things are getting watered down. So, I mean, as far as like community events, just like Courtney said, we're judges. We're hoping to be judges, not judges yet, but yes, hoping to be a judge soon. And that, we can do those constitutional issues and make sure that the Constitution means something, that these laws mean something, and that it's not just, well, we'll just kind of let it be and let that search be okay. Well, no, okay, because it means something. And so I think that's my background, and that's where I'm at. So I mean, like Courtney, I'm not going to be able to talk about current cases and how I might rule my feelings on that. And I've never unlike Courtney, I've actually never been outspoken about things like that. And that's my personality. And a lot of people have asked me to run for judge because that's my personality. Because my temperament is pretty cool, calm, and collected. I don't get really angry, unlike some current judges who just yell at you and it's nuts. All right. I want litigants in the court to be able to talk and to feel free to talk to me and to give their arguments and to feel safe doing that. And I think that's really important. I want equality. I want both sides. I want the prosecutor and the defense to have as equal resources as possible. And right now, I don't think that's happening. I think all the resources are going to the state. Now, of course, I'm a defense attorney currently, and I've only been a defense attorney. I've never actually been a prosecutor. And so that's kind of my background. So I want to see equality across the aisles, across the bar, and I want everyone to be able to do their job so that justice can really be done. Because if you pigeonhole one side or the other side, that's not justice. You don't get both sides of the story. So I think that's really important. So that's me. Then I don't see that changing.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much for that. The answer to that, we have a lot of questions. So we will be speeding you all up just a little bit. So sorry, because we do want to get to as many questions as possible. And what I heard in response to your question is if they get in there and they become seat holders, y'all take it to them. And y'all point out that they're all becoming seat holders and we hold them accountable the same way that we are here because we're going to hold the people who are in office now accountable and get them out in November. All right, next question, which is a great segue. What is the best way to engage low propensity voters? And there's a follow-up about jury pools. So what is the best way to engage low propensity voters? Who has an idea?
Well, I'll go because that's what we've been doing for the last 6 weeks is reaching low propensity voters. Every weekend, and we're block walking Saturday. So if anybody wants to join us, come on. We're meeting at the Ryan YMCA on McCart. And what we are doing is we are locating the areas of Tarrant County where people are just not voting. And I'll share this with you. I think the best way to reach them is to knock on their door. When you knock on their door, I'm telling you, I know this for a fact. Angela and I, in 22, we knocked on, I don't know how many doors in Grand Prairie. And when we got to the polling location, people were literally walking up to me saying, Tiffany, I'm here because you knocked on my door. No one ever knocks on my door. And this past weekend, I was talking to a lady and I was telling her, hey, we really need people to come out and vote this time. This is critical for the county. You see what's going on in the news. You see what's going on right here in our county. We need you to come out and vote. And she said, you know what, I'm gonna vote. She said, nobody ever comes over here. And that's what they want. They want us, the people who claim to care about their issues, to come to their door and say, we need you, your voice matters. We want you to be heard. We want you to be part of the process. You need to get engaged. So the answer to the question is knock on their doors, go where they are. We're here. We're going wherever people are, and that's how you reach those voters, I think.
Yes, yeah, pretty much what Tiffany said. The block walk like 2 weeks ago, I mean, people were literally shocked that we were knocking on their door. And they were like, nobody's coming knocked on my door. And so we're gonna keep that up all the way until November. So it may, we're gonna circle back and knock on their door again to let them know that, we're here. We're doing this a different kind of way. So basically, I'm just piggybacking off of what Tiffany said.
I'd like to add kind of a nuance to that question if I could. So I'm 32, I've lost my job. I am trying to keep food on the table for my kids, the lights on. I need to hear from a couple of y'all. Why should I expend any of my limited time and energy and attention to get involved in politics and to go vote? So when I hear low propensity voter, like it's all everybody here, we're here because we're all gonna vote. So that doesn't qualify, that doesn't pertain to us. What about the people, they're barely holding it together? What are y'all doing, or do y'all have any ideas on how to get those people engaged?
So for me, and the district clerk, because nobody knows what it does, is like, I think kind of a hard position to run for, because it's not a legislative position, so you don't make laws, So I spent a lot of time thinking about, okay, where does this position connect to normal everyday people and their lives? And like, I put 3 things on my block walk literature, and one of those things turns out the district clerk's supposed to handle the jury summons process, like when people come in to serve on a jury pool. And that does not sound like a big deal. Again, it's one of those unsexy like tasks. But if you think about it, it's actually a very important thing, because trials get canceled all the time at the last minute. So what you end up having is all these folks who are coming in, they get their jury summons in the mail. And we want normal people, a good cross section of society to come in and serve on juries. And that means a lot of working people, And so they get their jury summons and they start coming in, they take a day off work. Maybe they're a wage worker, right? They're not on salary, so they're missing pay for that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to come in and the trial gets canceled, which is kind of out of the clerk's control. But what should be in the clerk's control is, as soon as that trial gets canceled, you need to send out communications, hey, wave off, don't come in. Because I respect your time, and I respect that times are tough and you can't miss a day of pay. And my opponent right now doesn't even handle the jury summons process. It's another one of the things that he's neglecting his duties on. And it's just, to me, that's like, it's something that impacts people's lives, and you should show respect for their time. So that's my answer to that.
All right. Right now, we want to pause because the food truck is ready for everyone to cash in those tickets, those coupons. We're going to break for 15 minutes. So everybody who wants to go grab some food can do that. And we also have dessert. And Mr. DJ, if you could play us some music while we have a brief pause so that people can go get something to eat if anybody wants to.
Or we can keep going.
Or we can keep going. Okay.
Keep going, keep going.
Perfect. All right. Perfect. All right. So if you want food, go get some food. Otherwise, we're gonna keep going. Okay? Next question.
How do you feel about a person representing themselves without an attorney?
Wow.
All right, I'll jump on that one. So it's allowed, and if they want to, they have the absolute right to do it. generally not a good idea because of all the rules of evidence and all that kind of stuff. It's very difficult to understand it. Well, I mean, we had to train in law school for 3 years and then actually live it for like 16, for me, 30, 20, depending on how long people were practicing. It's it's an art. We call it the practice of law. It's not the science of law. It's a practice because you're learning it every single day. It changes, and as you get more experience, you get better at it. But you never get perfect at it. You can't. It's the practice of law, and so I think representing yourself is dangerous because you're going to go up against a skilled prosecutor for the most part, and I wouldn't advise it. So, I mean, if a defendant came in front of me and said, I want to represent myself, I would hold the Ferretti hearing is what it's called, to kind of give them the warnings to say, hey, I still got to hold you to these standards because judge, you have to, it's the law. And so I wouldn't suggest it, but if they want to, we don't have a choice. They have to.
Same thing. It's honestly a very bad idea. There have been inmates who have been successful on their own appeals. So I'm not going to tell you that it's impossible. There are smart people who've got a lot of time to be able to look in the books and to do good work. But particularly with trial work, there is so much about a trial that people don't see on TV, particularly with jury selection. I was in court in Docket and they were doing a Ferretti hearing and the judge was questioning this person pretty strongly and frankly trying to talk them out of it, which I think is the appropriate thing to do. And he asked him, okay, what are you going to ask these jurors? And his response was, well, I want to make them feel comfortable. So I'm just going to ask them, what they like to do, if they like McDonald's. And this was a major felony case. And voir dire is honestly the most important part of the trial. You can win or lose cases in voir dire. And this man didn't know what he didn't know. And you can't hold people responsible for that. You don't know what you don't know. But yes, people have agency and we have to respect their choices. I would always strongly encourage them, really in the strongest possible terms, not to do that. And if at all possible, I would appoint an attorney to sit second chair with them to at least give them some guidance at the table.
I'm just gonna add one thing. There's so many people quitting the DA's office right now. It may not be a bad idea. You may be able to pull it off. I mean, it's like people are good times. I mean, I've seen some pretty good people. I mean, some pretty good pro se people. So if you're gonna do it now.
All right. Next question, and we have several questions on about jury duty and jury summons. So important things to know or tips for a first time or young adult or anyone reporting to jury duty.
So
Don't talk too much, no.
That's,
that's it. Yeah.
well, there's that, but no, just like Courtney said, go. We need people to serve in a jury, especially young people, because when we see the jury pool, they look like me. They're middle-aged, white hair, and that's not a jury of peers necessarily, depending on the case and who's the defendant, right? And I don't know if I personally like the jury of peers terminology. It needs to be jury of the community, and it needs to be a spread of the community that comes in to hear the case. So if young folks don't come and to sit on the jury, or at least come to the voir dire, which is jury selection, that's not a portion of the community because we have everyone from babies to 90 plus years old. That's the community. We need everyone to show up. Of course, got to be 18, but we need everyone to show up.
And when you go, because you're gonna go, right? Everyone in here is gonna go. When the questions are being asked, we call it a deselection process because we're trying to figure out who is best to serve on this jury and who is not. And so I know that y'all don't know the questions that what we're trying to get at. And so when they're asking you questions like, can you consider the full range of punishment? And that full range may be anywhere from 5 to 99 or life or even the death penalty. That means you have to be able to consider 5 years, which is the minimum, and you have to be able to consider life, if that's the maximum, or the death penalty. If you say no to either one of those, you are out of there. So there's education that has to happen, and we haven't clearly done enough of it, as we can see what happened earlier this week. And so if you can't say stuff like, I just can't do it. As a mother, I couldn't do that to a young man, or as a wife, I couldn't, see something like that. Those are the things that get you thrown off of the jury. And so it's, you got to answer the questions that you can be unbiased. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for you to be able to be unbiased. And that's the kinds of answers you need to give. You need to tell them, yes, I can wait to hear all of the evidence before making a decision. Those are the kinds of answers that we need to give. We could probably have a whole session on just jury selection, right? These are the answers that will get you on the jury. And it's just so important to have different perspectives on the jury. You really, really want people who can relate to, if it's a criminal case, to the defendant, if you're the defense, right? Prosecutor's gonna want something else, obviously, but we're talking about when people are getting convicted and we going, oh my gosh, we don't know why, but you're the same person that said, I got that jury summons and I threw it in the trash. Or I said I had a dentist appointment, I couldn't go, or had, childcare, whatever excuse might have been given. This is why we need us on the juries. We need us on grand juries. So that's a chunk of time that is taken out. It was in Tarrant County. They serve like 3 months at a time in Tarrant. Yeah. So they serve like 3 months at a time. So I know that's another thing, but we need people on grand juries as well as the petit juries, as we call them, the trial juries, because grand juries decide which felony cases make it through. And a lot of cases don't need to make it through the grand jury. We need people on the grand jury who can look at a case and go, there's not enough here to go forward. And it is a low burden. That's why they have this whole saying that you can indict a ham sandwich. So it is a low burden. It's still just probable cause. But we still need people who can actually look at that case and go, it shouldn't go anywhere. Because as we all know, as practitioners, defense attorneys, when those cases make it through the grand jury, then the prosecutors feel like they got to do something with it. A lot of them don't have the courage to dismiss it. So that's why if we cut it off at the grand jury level, then, a lot of those cases, we wouldn't even see them. They wouldn't even get to the point of being indicted and having to go through the process for a prosecutor who doesn't have the courage to dismiss a bad case.
Okay, in Tarrant County, you're gonna get your questionnaire online, right? And you fill it out. We need to stop telling everything on that questionnaire. Yes. You just tell too much. Yeah, what do you watch on TV? BET. It's just something, and you be like, what music do you listen to? And I know white people are here, but tell you, they don't sit up there and give away the game, right? Which news channels do you, those are the little things that I circle if I see somebody that's watching Fox News. I'm gonna circle that. So of course they're gonna circle something in, MSNBC or whatever, but we just give too much away. Just answer the little question, yes or no, and move it along. You don't have to give a whole paragraph on things. You just put your whole business out there. And just keep it simple. Yes, I can be fair. I can listen to all of the evidence. You can consider 5. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because you don't know any of the evidence, right? Right. So you got to be the full range of punishment.
And consider,
And
right?
consider.
The question is not would you give it,
Yeah.
can you consider it?
Right.
Sure. Yes. All right, very good. Tiffany, were you gonna answer?
No,
All right.
I'll take, yeah.
Follow up on jury duty. If I get turned away from jury duty and I feel like I was qualified, who can I contact? And the second jury duty question is, what do you think about providing stipends to Black and brown jurors who cannot afford to miss work while doing their civic duty? So both related to jury duty.
think that's a great question.
Is that yours?
My question. The first one is, if I get turned away from jury duty and I feel like I was qualified, who can I contact about that?
No one.
That one, that's it.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah. I mean, there really isn't, you know, the way the process works is each side, the state and the defense, they have the right to strike people for what we call peremptory strikes, which is for any race neutral. We know about that from this week too. Any race neutral reason, I can just strike you. Like, I didn't like something you said. I don't like how you came to court, how you dressed. Any race neutral reason, I can strike you for that. But then we also get, in a felony case, you get 10, what we call, those are the 10 peremptory challenges you get. But you can also challenge for cause. And so a challenge for cause is different, because what a challenge for cause says is there is something that you have said on jury duty that shows all of us that you cannot be fair either to one side or the other, or maybe both. And so that's a legal process. And so if someone makes a decision that they want to strike you for whatever reason, there really isn't anyone you can complain to about that, because I can strike you for any race neutral reason whatsoever. And then the second part, I don't think the law would allow us to pay certain people because of status, because there's going to be an equal protection argument under the Constitution.
What about by income level?
Yeah, that's it. Like, what about like your income?
Well, what I do think we need to look at is just the whole aspect of all the subtle little things that we can do to make it easier for working people to come in and be on jury duty.
Pay more.
We need to pay their parking. We need to potentially give them a transportation voucher to get there. Like, some of those are impediments too. And like, what I'll say is, like, I don't know how all that will work, but what I will pledge to do is kick open the hood and look at under that, because this is a real problem, right? If our juries are not representative of the community, that's a real problem, and that's going to manifest in the justice that comes out of those or the lack of justice that comes out of them. So, and it's just not fair to people either. So that's how I answer it.
Is that something that the district clerk's office could do? Pay for the parking, have vouchers for parking?
So that, and I know there's some issues with the parking because it's like way off site, and like they bring a bus over and there's like all this friction with it. So like that's on my list of like things to look at right away, right? And but I will say with that, like people like Nydia here are gonna we have to have a Democratic Commissioners Court too, because they control the budget.
Right.
And so if we don't have a Democratic Commissioners Court and we still have slash and burn tax rates like Tim O'Hare and them are doing, there's no money for anything.
Right.
Right. So I'm not going to be able to suggest to the commissioners, hey, let's pay for parking. Let's make it easier for people to come in, because it's going to fall on deaf ears. Right.
Right.
One other thing. When people come to jury duty, they have no idea how long they're going to be there. And I think food vouchers would be a very good idea for people. Because on felony cases, you're not done with jury selection until after the lunchtime hour. I think that's something that we brought up food trucks or something like that. That would make it easier for people and more affordable for people, and it would make them happy. People with full bellies are a little happier. To the point, and this might be irrelevant, but to the point where if someone is upset or feels like they were cut from a jury unfairly, we're talking a little bit about things to say or not say. If you act like you want to be on a jury, you will not be on my jury.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because people have motive.
Yep. Yep. Be cool.
Be cool. I love it.
Yeah, I just got summoned recently. I wish I would have heard what you said, but then the trial got canceled. But I'm like, yeah, I definitely said a lot of things that are like, this girl's way too liberal.
All right, next question. And I'm going to ask Nydia to start with answering this question. What can be done to bring accountability to Sheriff Wayburn?
Before re-election in 2 years, or before election in 2 years, between now and then, I know I've heard also like Commissioner Simmons was one of the first commissioners that even went to go visit the jail. In like, what was it, Nathan, like 20 years or something crazy?
So Commissioner Simmons was the first commissioner. Well, let me caveat. Judge Whitley, former county judge, used to go in there for a charity fundraiser once a year. He would barely make it past the entrance, but he gets a little bit of credit for that. Commissioner Simmons went toward the entire Tarrant County Jail within her first 3 months in office. I was with her. And then she said, that's not enough. Now we're going to the Dallas County Jail and we're going to tour that one too. So
Yeah, so I think just starting with the fact that they don't get to just have closed doors, right? Like we have to be able to go there, see what's going on. And I think one of the things that, you know, they're making the case, we're spending a lot of money on overtime right now, right? On deputy overtime because they can't keep staff, they can't recruit. And there's many ways to solve that problem, including having less people in the jail. So you need less deputies. And I think that's connected to what Nathan is saying. And I think right now we just kind of let them do whatever they want. All the systems are just like, they're great as they are. And, you know, I'm running against Manny, who's Mr. Law Enforcement guy, right? So law enforcement can do no wrong in his eyes. And so I think that's a really big problem because we don't just get to give carte blanche like, oh yeah, you want more money? Yes, law and order, here's more money. So I think the first thing we do to hold accountable is like, no, you don't get any more money.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta make work with what you got right now. And then also, how do we start moving that money into the things that actually keep our community safe, which, you know, public safety does not, we've let them convince us that public safety equals like jail and police, and that is not the equation. So I think that's the first, you know, from a fiduciary responsibility, that's the first step of how we, you know, hold accountability. And I think also like the transparency piece, I mean, I think being able to, the fact that he thinks he doesn't have to come and report, you know, come and do briefings at commissioner's court. Nope. This is your job. I will look into docking his pay if he doesn't show up into the briefings that he's being asked at commissioner's court. So yeah, exactly. Like there have to be consequences. So that's kind of where I'll start with that. If anybody wants.
All right, Lydia, come on.
So, to add to that, one of the most disturbing things that I've seen is the lack of transparency and the cover-up that's going on in our county. Sheriff Wayborn does not want media to win. He does not want me to win because we will bring that accountability that you all are looking for. The current DA is not investigating the jail deaths. There is a law that says when someone dies in the jail that a third party, Sandra Bland, a third party investigatory agency is to come in and investigate that. But there's nothing in the law that says that I can't, because I still can. And so there will be accountability for Judge Wayborn, because when we have those kinds of things going on in the jail, there's nothing that can stop me to convene a grand jury and investigate whatever I want to. And so there will be accountability.
Now, I would like to add, so the incumbent in HG 96 just got a law signed into law against what he considers rogue prosecutors for not prosecuting cases that they think ought to be prosecuted. So why can't we have a law for rogue sheriffs who are also not investigating, not being held accountable, not being transparent, not showing up to when their bosses who pay their salaries ask them to come? Why can't we do that? Especially when you've got a sheriff who has 50 deaths that are unaccounted for, as we do in Tarrant County. I don't see why we can't do that.
All right. We're gonna pause just for a moment and raffle off two books right quick. I'm gonna ask two questions. Raise your hand and we'll point at you if you can answer that question. First question is, what court is felony cases held in? Sir in the blue shirt.
CDC 4? That one?
Wrong answer. Go ahead.
No.
Yeah, so there are two types of court.
Right.
So misdemeanors and felonies.
Right, county district court, CDC. District court.
District, yes.
Yeah, I'll keep
Get
track
into
of them.
district, all right.
Come up here, sir.
County court is misdemeanors and district courts are felonies. That's the difference.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
thank you.
So you'll pull,
Before one.
and whatever name, you'll pick that book.
Yeah, thank you.
Next question. How many people sit on a trial jury in district court?
But I
I'm supposed to win.
Patrice, that.
Come on, come on.
Aw, maybe you can trade, maybe you can trade with somebody. All right.
I can trade. I know I can trade.
Right, so this next question, love it. It's gonna be a big talker, I think. Would you rather lock up an innocent man or let a guilty man go free? It is, I know. Let's kick it off with, Ms. Burks. Miss-
That's like that.
I know.
We ask, it's so funny because we sometimes ask jurors this question
Yep.
to see what they're gonna say. And so now I feel like I'm on the hot seat.
Now you know how it feels.
But I can tell you this with all certainty, I would rather a guilty person go free any day of the week.
Absolutely.
Any day of the week.
Yeah.
That's what we can.
All right, Courtney, do you want to answer? Do you have?
Oh. Absolutely, let a guilty man go free. It means that the police agencies didn't do their job well enough, or the evidence isn't strong enough in and of its own, or they tried to bring charges too early before they had done all the investigation. Ultimately, um, ultimately, it is on law enforcement to prove their case. And it is a travesty when an innocent person is jailed. It is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking when an innocent person goes on death row, and we know that Texas has executed innocent people. I would let 100 guilty men go free rather than one innocent man go to jail.
I think I just have to say ditto because I agree with that.
Does anyone disagree with that? Opening it up to the floor. No, just kidding. Yes, sir.
I don't disagree, but quick question for the whole panel. So let's say the person that's innocent, that's in jail, and you know that one of your peers, like let's say another judge or another person did wrong. Do you hold that person accountable or do you let it slide?
Wow.
Do you turn the blind eye
Come
or
on.
do you risk your job
Huh.
and stand up for the person that's really supposed to be innocent?
I'll let Courtney answer that.
Let me tell you about me. Yeah. I don't do a whole lot of juvenile work. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the name Judge Alex Kim. He's our juvenile justice judge. I do have a few cases out there, and last April, I was in his court for detention hearings. And there was a family there in support of their son who is in detention. It was the very first hearing that happened. The hearing was done. He was going to hold the kid in custody for longer. It was a very serious offense. And the family got up, gathered their stuff, and left the courtroom. They were gone. And then Judge Kim said, bailiffs, go pick out the one in the blue shirt. So they brought the one in the blue shirt back, and it was a little girl wearing knee-length shorts, had a big old ponytail in her hair with a matching blue bow. She was very tall. But then Judge Kim grilled her, found out that she was 12 years old. She was not even there for her own hearing. She was there because her family brought her. She's 12, she can't drive, but the sign outside of his door says no shorts. So he grilled her for several minutes, asked if she could read and write the English language, asked if she had any special mental or educational needs. In front of a crowd of probably 75 people, he humiliated her. When her mom left the room because she was having a panic attack, he asked, your own mother can't be here in court to support you, like her mother didn't love her. Her father stood up and started trying to defend her, and it was one of the most heartbreaking things I've heard. The first words out of his mouth were, "Please don't grow my baby like that." And he tried for several minutes to try to de-escalate the situation. But they were a Black family. He was speaking AAVE, and he was just saying, "Man, I'm sorry. You can see I'm in jeans. Man, I apologize. If we had known, we wouldn't have done this." Judge took exception to the man part and started dressing him down. And then when we all thought it was over, he took that 12-year-old girl into custody for contempt of court. And when the dad made a sound, he took the dad into custody for contempt of court. He later on let them out, but we didn't know that at the time. I wrote an affidavit, signed my name to it when none of the other lawyers in that room, and there were several, would sign on to it or allow me to use their names that they were present. And that became the basis of a judicial complaint against Judge Kim right now. We are supposed to be self-policing the bar. We are supposed to make complaints against our colleagues when something untoward is happening. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be an affidavit with a complaint. But for instance, if we think someone is abusing substances, there are anonymous tip lines that we can call. So yes, I would call colleagues on the carpet. I have called colleagues on the carpet. And we are supposed to call colleagues out when they're not doing their jobs well.
All right. Since this has been very popular, we have two questions concerning this. First question, why do you think Carmelo Anthony was wrongfully sentenced besides him being Black? Follow-up question, what do you think the appeal process and the chances of it changing are for him?
I'll take this for a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer.
So one of the rules when you're trying cases is to humanize your client. And if you do not humanize that client to the jury so that they will see a person, a 17, 18, 19-year-old young man, or instead they see a criminal, a murderer, that's when you get 35-year sentences. My heart broke when I saw that sentence. I wrote about this. I don't know how many murder cases I've tried. I've tried a bunch. I don't know that I've ever seen a sentence like that. It shocked my conscience for someone that young, based on that fact pattern. And the only thing I could come up with was one, Ebony mentioned it earlier, jury selection. Because it is the most critical part of the trial. You will win or lose if you decide wrong. It happens to us all the time. But the other thing is humanizing people. You have to make the jury see your client as a person, as a human being. And if they didn't see that, it made it easier for them to do what they did.
I usually don't Monday morning quarterback, other lawyers. I just don't. But like Tiffany said, I mean, I was heartbroken. I said, why didn't they put a preacher on, a teacher on, a coach, some friends, somebody in punishment to mitigate the damage? To say he was a 3.7 GPA student, he's never been in trouble, he had been kicked out of school, that was just nothing there but putting the mom up and saying, don't, throw my baby away. Well, that's just not enough. And like I said, hindsight is 2020. I represented the Timberview shooter. We threw in the whole kitchen sink. We threw in everything up there. I mean, we threw in the whole. You have to. throw in the whole kitchen sink. And, and we had a predominantly white jury on that case. And they listened to what we had to say. And we knew that the kid at Timberview had been bullying my kid. We knew that he had terrorized everybody at the school, but we had to put that out there, even though the judge was doing everything he could to stop us from getting that evidence in. But, he ended up with 12. But the only, well, they stood up and asked for life. They stood up and said, this case demands life. That case did not demand life. Neither did that one in Collin County deserve life. And I said the other day, somebody said, oh, they're gonna give 15. I said, nah, they're gonna give between 30 and 40. And it's exactly 35. And that's 17 and a half years flat, day for day. Now, their job now is to find the best appellate lawyer they can find and pray that it gets reversed.
And speak to that panel about the appellate process.
Well, I want to kind of carry off of that, if you don't mind, real quick.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't really talk as a judicial district judge candidate about what those questions were, but I want to add, as a defense attorney, sometimes your hands feel tied on certain things because there's certain things you want that you can't get because you can't afford it. It would have been nice to have a mitigation type expert who maybe got appointed. I don't know if the attorney asked for that or not. I have no idea. But I do know that when I try to ask for things like that, I get shut down all the time because the court doesn't have the money and they don't want to spend the money on stuff like that. But that's what I was talking about when I was saying I want things to be equal. I want equality. Right now, for a defense attorney to get like an expert in Tarrant County or an investigator to do investigation, or like a psychosexual expert for a sex type case, which I always ask for, you have to go to the judge to ask for that. As a defense attorney, I have to get permission from the judge. Does the prosecutor? No. And so judges like to say no to us a lot. And so I think if that, as a defense attorney, getting a mitigation expert and a judge saying, yeah, you need that, I think that might have helped.
That's why we need a public defender's office in Tarrant County.
Let's go,
Right.
Tim.
How about it, Joe Sapp? And this is a very important question. It hits very hard with me. And I've been very, very like just crying these last couple of days. And I've been trying to avoid everybody with the whole thing, even the people that I support. Because I was in a situation and I ended up with 17 years, 2 weeks on death row, because I could not afford an attorney to get me. Had I had a Nathan, a Tiffany, a Lisa, a Nadia, a Ebony, a Miller, and you, Mr. Fred, had I had you guys back in the day to support me, then I would have did those years. So it's first of all, y'all, it's very important to vote,
Yeah.
okay? And know who you put in office. Let's keep it real, because it's been too doggone stiff neck up in here. Okay, let's keep it real. First of all, it's to get out there and vote. And then you need to know what you're voting for. And then you need to hold these people accountable for what they say when they get your vote. Okay? Because it's victims like me and Carmela. Because I'm hurting right now for real. I know his mother is hurting. I know y'all may be hurting. I'm hurting for real because I went and did time. I went and did them 17 years standing on my toes. Segregation, the whole 9 yards. That kid don't know what's happening. Just like Lisa said, bam, he was gone. In the middle of the night, hair cut off, everything, hold no look. I was that kid. It's time to shit or get off the pot. So what we gonna do?
Vote.
Cause we can sit up in these rooms and listen to them all you want to. All this shit sound good. We need some money to support them, first off, cause this shit costs.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's keep it real. These people come out their goddamn pockets with this shit. And if they brave enough to come up here and stand up and take our shit and support us, then we need to get busy. We need to get up, y'all, and either get up and go vote and bring 10, 15 people with us, Because when I grew up, my grandmother was 114 when she died. We were taught in my generation to go vote. But in today's generation, when you come with the crack generation in 98, that all broke down. Grandmothers was raising kids now. They didn't know to go vote because grandma was too sick to even teach it. So y'all are able to teach it. It does not take it to be your child. Where's the village?
And if I can break, thank you so much. Let's give that, because that is very, to share that is a lot. So I have a question and it's unscripted, if I may. And it's kind of a trick question to the panel as well as everybody. What was the largest voting block in the 2022 cycle? It's kind of a follow-up to what Ms. Della was talking about.
Black women.
The largest block of voters in Tarrant County.
Like what precinct? I guess I'm.
The largest block of voters, just as generally as you can, and I won't hold y'all, it was non-voters. The people who didn't vote.
Yeah, of course.
So in follow-up to what she said, we're in this position because people don't vote. And my question to you all is, we're all sitting here, we all care, that's why we're here tonight. What is one action item that we can do as the community, and you all can do one thing in the midst of all of us living life that can change the fact that this November, the largest voting block in Tarrant County will not be non-voters? What is one thing that everybody can do from 18 all the way up?
Tiffany has a plan.
So,
Oh.
can I?
It's specific, and I want specifics, like what is one thing, Tiffany, you would say to me, Angela, do this?
Can I just say real quick though, like, okay, I'm a white dude, right? A bit, like, it's crazy to me, like, coming into black spaces, how hard black people are on themselves. Like, I look like the problem here, right? In terms of voting, it's like crazy. Like, people you know, beat each other up about not voting. Like, we do need to get the vote out, absolutely. But I need to do work in my community to get people to stop voting for this guy and all these people, right? And like,
Oh, Nathan, I did not say black people as the non-voting blocks, because plenty of white people in Tarrant County that did not
I
vote
guess it's
either.
me. I'm trying to answer your question and how I internalize it. Like, I got work to do. I have a role to play on this ticket with a block of voters, and I need to do my job to get those non-voters out.
And what's the action item for people who look like you, that don't look like me? What's the one thing?
Uncomfortable conversations
Yes.
with their family members that vote Republican.
Yeah, I think it's speak to young people about their future and have uncomfortable conversations with the parents, because I've had a lot of those in my family, and especially men are sociopaths, so go for the women, like, because women are, like, I just mean it in the sense of, like, my mother was a moderate Republican before Trump. There is no way in hell, she died just before the Trump era began, that she would have ever voted for him, ever. And she would be a strong Democrat now. And that type of person is gettable. My father's not gettable. He's not gettable. He's gone. And so when I try to think about messaging, I think about messaging to my mother. And that's the role that I feel like I need to play.
So here.
Well, I think you can host a skeptic voter gathering, and I'm happy to come to it. I'm sure any candidates, depending on where you live, would be happy to come. If you can get 5 or more skeptic voters in your life to come together to talk about why being a voter matters. And I'll just quickly say that I've been doing a lot of research on like messaging and voter turnout stuff, and there's a study that was done that there's a difference in asking somebody, are you voting, to are you a voter? Because it's the behavior of being a voter. What do people think about voters? They're like, oh, those are responsible people who care about, who are like engaged in their community. So they would want to be a voter, but voting, the act of voting doesn't resonate. So like the identity, shifting somebody's identity to being a voter, someone who is engaged. So start asking that. and to your friends, are you a voter? Not are you voting, are you a voter? Because there's studies that show that the psychology of that has an impact, so.
Yeah, that's smart.
Okay, let me tell you, I'm gonna just tell you what I want.
Yep.
There's a sign up sheet in the back. Everybody sign it, put your email and your phone number. I'm gonna call you. There are about 40 people in here. And I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna give you 40 names. And you have 12 weeks. However you want. You can call them, you can knock on their door, you can send them a message, you can email them, whatever you want. But you're gonna take those 40 low propensity voters of people that probably live in your neighborhood, and you're going to engage with them, you're gonna educate them, and then when it's time to vote, you're gonna call them and say, hey man, we're going to vote on the 19th of October. And then after it's over, we're gonna go have a drink. Let's go. So that's what I need. If it's 40 of y'all, 40 in here, and you each get 40 names, do the math. That's 1,600 voters. Did I do that?
Yes. Yes.
I did,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I did that. Math was not my thing. That's 1,600 voters. And we need about 25 to 30,000 new voters to come and vote in 2026 so that all of us win. So put your name on the list. I'm gonna call you.
All right.
Hold on, just to piggyback off of that, because most people don't know that some of the runoff elections were only won by 300 or 400 votes. So that 1,600 makes a difference.
Yeah.
I would say pick your favorite candidate, any candidate, donate $5, and we're appreciative.
Yep.
If you can do it for more than one, do it. Do it on a monthly basis if you can do that. If you can be a recurring donor, even if it's just $5. I had somebody, my last campaign who was giving me $1. I don't even know who it was. It was somebody out of Houston. I think they must have decided that they were gonna do that for different candidates. I see it show up, so I'm like, yeah. Mhm. So we're appreciative of all of it, so that's what I said.
Patrice is going to come up because she had from the community perspective, an answer to that question, and she's also going to introduce herself.
All right, hi everybody. My name is Patrice Jones. I'm the vice chair of the Tarrant County Democratic Party. Woo! And I'm really excited. We have a lot of work to do till November, and I would like for more people in this room, if you're willing, to go take a training that's going to be for 3 hours, and this training will allow you to register voters in Tarrant County. So I'm working with a lot of community organizers and people that put together events at various places all over Tarrant County. And I'm gonna put together a calendar to have all these events month by month. And I'm gonna need VDRs to go out. We do have organizations that do the work, march to the polls, but they're really not centered around low propensity voters. So I would like to do what they're doing, but on a scale of basically going to the hood, going to the parks, going to where different events are at, where people typically don't vote. And I'm going to work with Tiffany and the candidates, have them get a time to come out and speak to the community members and let them know that these people that were elected, they're reachable. I feel like a lot of times people don't get involved because, like Tiffany said, no one's ever came to their door. They feel like people don't care. But if we are more proactive to go out to the spaces where they are at, and the more VDRs we have, the better. So I'm gonna give you guys the information on when the training is. I would love to connect with all of you guys so I can send you the flyer. Please share with your friends and family, share on your social media. Go become a VDR so you can register people to vote. Once you do become a VDR, there's a lot of rules and stuff surrounding it. So you want to make sure you're turning the cards in within the appropriate time, because we would hate for Bill Wayborn's voter integrity unit to find a reason to mess with people. So just make sure you're following all the rules. But please, you guys, consider becoming a VDR. It's free. It won't cost you nothing, and it'll allow you. Thank you, Nydia. Voter Deputy Registrar. So, yes, Nydia, that's how we do it. Yeah, so yeah, guys, become a VDR. So, yes, ma'am.
Class only in the county that you are able.
So March to the Polls in a few different organizations, what they'll do, they'll have this class. I believe the class that I'm speaking of is on June 27th. I believe it's just in Tarrant County. A class I attended was for Tarrant County, Collin, and Dallas County. So I was a video in all three counties. But the video, it lasts like maybe, I think every 2 years you have to renew it, but it's worth it. I mean, I carry it around in my car. So if I'm ever somewhere, go ahead.
So if because I'm going back home Tuesday and they're having.
Where's home?
Wichita Falls,
Okay.
but I'm a registered voter for Tarrant County.
Uh-huh.
I'm new to this.
Oh, no. We're happy you're here. Welcome. We're happy you're here.
Back at home and I was gonna be at home, I said I'm coming,
Okay.
but really not knowing everything.
Yeah, so if you come back and become
We just registered everywhere, but this.
no, it's per county. Yeah, it's per county. So what you do is just find out, I don't even know what county Wichita Falls is.
Wichita, yeah.
Okay.
You just take your,
Yeah.
usually you can just take your credentials that you already, a VDR in one county and take it to the next one.
And they'll do it. Look at that. So you can get get it here if you can feel we willing to come back and then take that, like she said, to your county, you should be good. Pam, what's going on?
You said something about 3 hours. In the training, only about 45 minutes to an hour.
No, it's 3 hours. I just took it, it's 3.
I just don't want anybody to be discouraged.
To the county voter
Election
place,
office.
and it takes me about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, also at the Tarrant County election.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a class, so, but you definitely can go down to the elections office, and take it. That's how most recent time I renewed it, I did it that way. You set up an appointment time with them. It's an open book test. It's extremely easy. But this was just like I know some people like to prefer things in a group setting, so you may meet other people and network or whatever. So that's why I was speaking on this. Miss Melinda, you have something?
Also become a VDR for the whole state of Texas too. You can get, be certified for the state of Texas.
And I don't know how long it is, so I apologize. The flyer does not give a time frame. It's June 27th at 9 a.m. It doesn't tell how long it is, so I made up 3 hours in my head. Sorry. I appreciate that though, Pam. So I don't want to discourage y'all either. I made that up. It might be 15 minutes. So, all right, thank y'all.
You may be able to do that online. The last time I re-upped, which was last year, I think, you can do the training online. You do have to go take the test.
Okay.
Which is a 10-question open book test.
Yeah.
Up by Beach Street, at the elections office. It's good for 2 years.
Yeah.
It rolls over every even numbered year.
Yeah.
And when you register voters, you have 5 days
So that's
to
very.
turn in the form. So that's the number you really want to remember to
Yes,
stay out of
yes.
trouble with Bill.
Oh, I thought of a better answer too of what you can do. Yard signs help in your yard because you're validating a candidate with your sign in your yard. So I know Lisa has some. I've got some.
And a lot of the Republican candidates, something I don't think people realize, they have more money a lot of times than the Democrats that are running. So you'll see billboards and a bunch of yard signs everywhere. It's the reason they'll get more name recognition with that. So it's very important that we're having conversations when we're with our circles, letting people know who the real people are that are really going to represent us. So that people don't just see a name and when they go vote, oh, I saw that name. I used to do that. I used to vote for Bessie Price because I saw her name everywhere. Because I didn't know no better. So not as mayor, but she was the ex-assistant. So like literally I didn't know anything. So
I have a question, in reference to the candidates up there this time. Because I have noticed, the May election, that only one person at one time put Democrat on their signs. Why do you all not sometimes put Democrat on there to identify yourself? Because the Republicans will put that big R up there, but we have Democrats that won't even identify themselves as Democrats. So can you answer that question?
Mine has it on
I
there.
know.
I look like a Republican, right? It's right after veteran. But
We have been asked that question, how do we know, we are not identifying ourselves, so we're.
Tiffany, that goes back to the call last night.
That you're telling the
I think that
people
goes back to our call last night.
I think that honestly, I think that's a relic of people thinking it's a red county and it's not. It's a purple county. So I think people, that's just my theory. I always,
Yourself says Democrat.
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't. I'm an HT 96 and it is an R+8, so I'm probably not gonna put that on mine.
Do what?
I'm not gonna put that on mine because I'm in my district is really like a Republican +8. That's what they say, district.
Yeah.
Even though I think it's flippable and am going to flip it, I'm not gonna, turn certain people off because as soon as they hear, I'm at the polls all the time. And as soon as they hear Democrat, they automatically shut down and say, oh, you're pro-abortion, you're pro-gay, and we can't vote for you. So that's why. So I can't cut them off immediately.
Everybody has their reasons, but I just want
That's my reason.
aware of that,
I appreciate that, and I'm gonna check the order that we put today to see if I can change the design.
Back. I wish I had that question this morning. So it was just just not changing about it. I'll take a break.
All right, we're gonna take a break at this time. Just before we take the break, let's raffle off 2 more books, and then we'll take a 15-minute break. 15-minute break, all right. 2 more questions. First question. Who was the first Black judge appointed in Tarrant County? Raise your hand.
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Who was the first Black judge appointed in Tarrant County? I said raise your hand. No, incorrect. Anyone else?
The one that's has the
Hands, anyone else?
L. Clifford Davis.
Okay,
Who else said Davis?
Next question. Who was the second Black judge appointed in Tarrant County?
So sorry. So sorry. That's the first raffle winners.
I was so right, but I held. I told. I said no. It's the one that just passed away. I just didn't give the name.
All right, who answered that second question?
Nobody.
All right, the second question again was who was the second Black judge appointed in Tarrant County?
Oh, now y'all wait for me. No, I'm glad.
Melinda?
It wasn't Mary Ellen?
You already won.
No, I'm not trying. I think it's somebody else. It wasn't Mary.
Come on, Melinda. All right. All right, we're gonna take a 15-minute break. So get something to eat or whatever you need to do in those 15 minutes.
He got the swag, so she took the swag good.
No, but it's like I noticed that. I don't know. Like that's what the people. I hope that. Right there. Hey. Everybody looks bad. Everybody is kind of good.
Nathan, you won me over.
Oh, thank you.
I know that was the most uncomfortable, but I like it.
You dance?
The whole last question was uncomfortable, but I seen and I respect it.
Well, it's just for me. I've been into like a lot of Black places for campaign events, and it's always like this like everybody. You gotta write this. Like, I get it. I get why you. But I'm like.
I like that.
Yeah, yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
What? That's what I'm saying. And it's gonna be but it makes me feel more confident being some of the people out here and talking about going to work. We'll be all right. We'll be all
Man, just in the people, eating God yesterday, passed away. Every single morning I try to pray. Every moment I make forgot. Nothing else really means nothing to me. I ain't something to get. You me. Tell me about me. I ain't gonna sleep. Song. Black like having your cousin back. Look like when that was the cream like. Baby, I'm not going to sin. Give me your everything today. Real woman got you headed out of these labels. You and your stomach, yeah, it's so much on the table. You want to me, but we gon' see. Expect me to come in. Let's smoke, let's let it be your best. Lights on, let's lay it with my chest. Let's smoke, let's let it be your best. Lights on, let's lay it with my chest. Yes, let it be your best. Yes, lay it with my chest. Let's smoke, yes, let it be your best. Lights on, you say you wanna bring it talk, you make it come back. I wanna play my part and I actually divide you. Like, I'm far away. Still be home when I'm wearing days. On the plate. But I'll be right with you. I love you like one of those, still I made it come for you. And I know what you do to me. Baby, I'm a good thing. Somebody like that, let me talk to me. I can hurt you to the game. Really want to get you ready to out of these labels. You ain't used to make it with so much on the table.
I love it. Everybody that's running for first time article race. Yeah, Jared.
So that, you know, we on the part still. And I'll see
My mama has good to be in my hood. So I'm gonna get on. Oh, yeah. We have our own property. I'm okay. Why we never Monday, I'm gonna kick it out there. Kick it out. I don't.
Okay, don't forget. I got you. Yeah. No, no, girl, ain't nobody feeling sorry. But I tell you, I don't want my. My thing is, I be trying to understand. I don't know what I've been doing.
How you doing?
What's up, Danny?
Hey, you live?
And
Hey.
so you all be here.
You know, it's every turn running for Texas House District 96. That's Arlington, Mansfield, Crowley, all of Trinidad, Burleson. So you know, the election is in November. Early voting is on the 19th. So if you are in any of those in my area, I'm gonna need your help and your support. But once I get there, I'm gonna represent the whole state of Texas. So anybody who would support my campaign, whether you live in AC 96 or not, understand it's gonna benefit you for me to be in Austin. So go to www.ed96.com and lend your support any way you can. It's all appreciated.
We can donate to them. Make sure
And then there's
Everything I can do it up there and then it's not going yeah, grab some out the food check. Knock it down.
Mac and cheese, really good. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna come back in together. Let's come back together, please. Let's get some order again, please. We're gonna get some order again, please. If you can take your seats. Everyone take your seats. Everyone take your seats. Everyone take your seats. If everyone can go ahead and take your seats for us, please. Everyone go ahead and take your seats, please.
All right, everybody. I never did like.
All right. All right, we still have a little time left tonight, so.
All right, real quick, you guys, as everyone makes their way back to their seats. I want to take the time, you guys. I have who in here has heard of Fred Rouse?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we have the honor, you guys. We actually have his grandson in the room, who is the executive director. Are you the executive director? what's your title of Tarrant County Coalition of Justice and Peace? I'm sorry, he's the president of Tarrant County Coalition of Justice and Peace. He's keeping his his grandfather's name, making sure people here remember his name. His grandfather was the first documented lynching in Tarrant County or Fort Worth. In Tarrant County. So they have a wonderful memorial set up for him where the lynching took place. So I just wanted to introduce him real quick, guys, and give you an opportunity for him to tell you about the organization he's the president of, and I also serve on the board.
Thank you, Patrice, for the introduction. Thank you, everybody in the panel, everyone here. Like she said, my name is Fred Rouse III. I am the president of the Tarrant County Coalition for Peace and Justice. One of the major projects that we're working on right now is building the Mr. Fred Rouse Memorial Site in honor of my grandfather, who is the only recorded African-American to be lynched in Tarrant County. Back on December 11th, 1921, my grandfather worked at the Swift Company in the stockyards. A few days before that, he was beat in the stockyards by some of the strikers there, striking for wages from Swift Company. From there, he was picked up by the police. They thought he was dead, so they took him to the Old City and County Hospital once they found out he was alive. He was there for 5 days. Reports say that about 30 masked men came in and kidnapped him from the hospital. And they continued to shoot him multiple times, riddling his body with bullets. Reports say they stabbed him also multiple times. And they ultimately hung him from a tree right at the corner of 12th and Samuel. What we did at TCCPJ is we actually purchased the land where my grandfather was hung from the tree, and that's where we are currently building the Mr. Fred Rouse Memorial Site, which it should be completed in about 8 weeks. Thank you. And one of the things I want to say about, the importance of voting and the importance of getting out and being with the collective is that we have people whose shoulders that we're standing on, who died for us to have the right to vote, who died for the right for us to even sit here in these chairs. My grandfather being one of them, he paid the ultimate sacrifice for us to be here. So I think that it is due justice for us to honor them by voting and giving not only ourselves voices to the community, also, but giving voice the voiceless, those people who have gone on, that can't speak anymore. So I think that's very important. I hope that everyone here gets a chance to come out to the grand opening. Hopefully it'll be in September, without any weather delays or anything like that. So hopefully everybody get a chance to come out. If you want to help support us, our website is tccpj.org. We have pavers that are for purchase for anybody that has a loved one that has passed on, or if you just want to have your own name at the memorial site. This is going to be a historic site for Fort Worth. This is one of the only memorial sites for a lynching victim in the state of Texas. And so we hope that everybody in the community gets the chance to cement their name at the site, right along with my grandfather's name as well, so we can honor all of your loved ones, yourselves, from now on. So thank you. Appreciate it.
And we have one other official in the House, and he was my city councilman in Grand Prairie, and he is now our state representative-elect, Mr. Junior Ezeonu. Very good. All right. This question is to Tiffany. Will the DA's office bring back respect, decorum toward advocates for the defense? They already have the power. Why are they allowed to threaten, intimidate the defense just so the prosecution wins? So will the DA's office bring back respect and decorum towards defendants?
The short answer is yes. There's really no other way to practice law. There should be no other way to practice law in our criminal courts. And I'm a firm believer, and I've always felt this way, whether I was a prosecutor or now as a defense attorney. We are the only, I shouldn't say we're the only ones, but everything that we do deals with people, just everyday people from every walk of life. One day, you know, you could be talking to a prostitute, the next day you could be talking to a preacher. That's just the way our job is. And so it's really important to me because that is how I practice. I practice in a way that I respect human beings for being people, for being God's children, for being born alive. And I think it's really important that I train up a group of lawyers who will do the same. And I'm telling you, I'm going to do that. If there are people, you know, one of the stories that I heard, and I think I posted this on my Facebook post, and I was shocked, is that a couple things. One, the current DA went around and told his prosecutors, I only want you trying the cases where I can get really high sentences. Because I can put those out there for people to see. It'll make me look good. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, that's unethical. That's because that's not justice. That is not what justice is. So that's one of the stories. We won't be doing that. The other story that I heard, which was really alarming, is that whenever someone in the DA's office got a life sentence, they were given a life cereal box as a commemorative, yes, to show that they, you know, received a life sentence and to kind of jokingly reward them for the work that they've done. And I'm going to tell you right now, what we do is not funny. It's not a joke. These are people's lives that we're dealing with. And we will absolutely respect the sanctity of life in the DA's office.
I'm gonna tell a real quick story. I remember being in court one day, and it was an older black man there, and it was two prosecutors. Well, they wanted him to write, "I will not steal," like 100 times. Well, he couldn't write. And they started laughing at him. Baby, if I didn't go off, and the judge, you know, I'm like, you don't do that. I mean, in front of everybody. And then they were showing it to other defense attorneys, and everybody was laughing at this man that couldn't read or write. I just marched right downstairs and talked to Alan Levy, who's no longer at the DA's office. And I think that prosecutor was probably fired within a week or so. Yeah.
We want to give Junior an opportunity to address the group.
That's eats mac and cheese. Okay, here.
Good evening, everyone. And Angela, thank you for giving me a few moments to eat. It's truly an honor to be here. Y'all saw me eating. That food was good. Thank you. Lisa, thank you for putting this together. I know I missed your last one, but I promise you I'll be here for this one. Good evening. My name is Junior Izanu. I recently won my election to serve as your next state representative for District 101. Thank you. Truly an honor. You guys, we live in Tarrant County. Tarrant County is going to be a very important county, not just for the future of Texas, but for the future of this great country, or getting this country back to being a great country. So I don't have a general election. I don't have a November election, but I'm going to spend as much time as I can to help the great candidates that we have here on stage get elected this upcoming November, because we know how pivotal it is to have good judges, great DA, county clerk, district clerks, all the races up and down the ballot here in Tarrant County. Not to mention how important it'll be for the top of the ticket races for Senate and governor. So I want to thank each and every one of y'all that have come out here today to listen to these great panelists speak about the issues. As we saw what happened a couple of days ago out in Collin County, voting is very important, and it affects our lives in many different ways, in every single way. So I'm gonna just be out here in the fight with you guys, keep doing the work with you. If I can ever serve you or help you out, feel free to reach out to me. My district does cover parts of Arlington, Grand Prairie, and Mansfield, but I'm a representative for everybody. So never hesitate to reach out to me. And Lisa, thank you again. Thank you.
All right, we're getting ready to wrap it up. This is the last card that we'll read today. What do you say, each of you say, to the people who say my vote does not count?
It counts. It's a number and it absolutely counts. But here's the thing. A lot of people do think that. They think their vote doesn't count, so therefore they don't go vote. So what happens? The party in power currently, they have a coalition. They're organized. They go vote because they know their vote counts. And so we need to get the people on our side, on the Democrat side, to understand that your vote does count, especially when it votes with so many other people and all your neighbors and friends. Please, we need everyone to go vote.
I would just like people to realize that voting is not a team sport. If you voted for someone and they lost, don't take your ball and go home. It doesn't mean you never vote again. You keep voting. You vote again and again and again until the person that you want wins. You can't just do it once and give up if we don't win that first time. This is a long-term effort. We got to vote every chance we get, every opportunity, every election.
And if you don't vote, it doesn't count. That's, I mean, so here's the thing, just like people fought and died and bled and died for that right, there are people kicking and screaming, pulling out every stop to keep us from voting. And if it didn't matter, they wouldn't be doing that. So that, I mean, and then even if, like Courtney said, if the person that you voted for doesn't win, so what? There's still somebody in that seat and they still represent you and you still need to be in their office and in their face holding them accountable. So yeah, your vote, it may not have counted the way you wanted it to, but your ability to go and exercise your civic rights is still there. And you could still go and demand what you want to have happen in your community.
And there were so many huge fights for people to have that vote.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, for the longest people, black folks couldn't vote, right?
Yep. Women.
And then women couldn't vote. So we had to fight for that. Why would we give it up?
Right.
We gotta keep voting.
What I say is that like voting, the act of voting doesn't create the change, but it's the only way to create conditions for change, right? So like, that's part of why I decided to run. We were organizing over 100 people. Many people have been organizing, lots of people showing up to commissioner's court, to city council. And it's like if no one showed up, right? It's like 100 people equals no one in their mind. So what needs to change? The people up there, that's the only way to create change. So voting is the direct way to create the conditions, is kind of how I talk about it.
I know this question didn't make the panel, but I would like to know, what are each of you doing to support each other to make sure that we all vote down the ballot? That's what I would like to know.
Well, we have our cards.
I see what you're doing, Lisa. I see what you're doing. Hold on. I see what you're doing, Lisa. And I know Ebony was out there with me on the polls, but this person gets down no talk. So I want to know what everybody else is doing to support each other on the panel.
This is what we're doing to support each other. We're all coming here together. This is such a great, we got so many candidates, but to be sitting up here with these guys, I mean, they're trying to put so many hurdles and front, closing polling places and doing this. They know they're about to get out of here in November. And they know that. And we can't let the hurdles and all this kind of stuff they're gonna throw in our path. Because we need Manny Ramirez gone. Lisa Simmons needs we need Tim O'Hara gone. We need precinct 2. Turn Tarrant County blue. It can be done. Talk to your friends and talk to your neighbors and say, hey, let's go. Plan it together, because your vote does matter. Right.
I'll just say to the people who say my vote doesn't count, let me tell you what does count, your non-vote count. That's what counts. Because when you don't vote, you're basically giving another vote to somebody who may not have your best interest at heart and somebody who wants to do you harm. So that's what I say to people when they say my vote doesn't count. I tell them, no. Your non-vote does count. So if your non-vote counts, why not vote and make that count as well? To Della's question, I think all of us are supporting each other. We're all block walking on weekends. We're all strategizing and trying to come up with ways that we can get votes out for all of us. And I'm going to say this here, and I've said it before, and I'm going to repeat it. we're all gonna win or we're all gonna lose. That's just how it is. And so I'm gonna do everything I can to get Nathan in his seat, everything I can to get Lisa, get Nydia and everybody else. We win big or we lose big.
So I would say the same things that's already been mentioned, that obviously it matters because they wouldn't be trying so hard to stop it if it didn't matter. But then I would also say one thing, just take a little bit different perspective on it is, and it's a theme that I do a lot on social media, if you follow me there, is we need to start building power from the ground up, right? We need to focus in Tarrant County on our school board, city council, county, government first, because we neglected those, and that's how you end up with Tim O'Hare. That's how you end up with Phil Sorrells. And those people have more direct impact, I would argue, on your life than Ted Cruz does, right? And so, and in that context, some of these city council races in Arlington, I mean, Emery knows this, like, I mean, the turnout is like 2,000 people, right? So if you're telling me in a race where it's 2,000 votes that your vote doesn't count, and like I can attest to in Arlington, I've been going up to City Hall and they're putting fracking wells right next to daycares in Arlington. And you tell me that it doesn't matter when you have a city councilwoman that we just got elected in Arlington that's finally voting no on those wells now, next to those daycares. And she won her race by just a few hundred votes. So it does matter, it does count, so.
Let me piggyback on what all of them have said. They are working hard for us not to have a voice and for us not to vote. I'm a funeral director and I got a letter saying that I was deceased. Okay. And I said the only death certificate my name is on is the ones I'm signing for other people. But I went to make sure that they knew I was alive and well and that I've been voting, all right, at every election. So make sure that you're registered to vote and make sure you're actually exercising your right to actually vote. That's very important. Check it periodically. Check it periodically because they're doing whatever they can to keep us from voting. All right. And the lady had the nerve to tell me, well, if you get in line and you can't vote, call me.
What?
No, ma'am, let's figure this out right now.
Okay.
All right. So it's important that each of us vote and make sure you're registered to vote. Young lady go ahead.
Yes. I believe people are not voting, don't care to vote because of the struggle. They struggle when they were kids. They're struggling as adults. Their parents have died struggling. And they just feel like, what is the point of voting? These people are not doing nothing for us. It's a waste of my time. I'm going to struggle anyways. Oh well. And I just feel like that's why a lot of people are not voting, and then people that are voting, putting people in paper and stuff, they're not holding up to what they said they're gonna do, their accountability or whatever. Like, Democrats are losing their faith.
Man, say that.
That's true. They're losing their faith.
And thank you. That's an excellent point. If I may, Ms. Della.
I vote because that's why I go out there and vote because of the struggle. But what I like to ask the Democrats is, what you saying, sis, with all due respect, how many city council meetings you making? How many school board meetings you making? How many public meetings you making? Okay, we can't put these on these candidates because we got a part in this too. Okay, we can't just stop at a vote. What are you doing to push the vote through? Stop putting it on these candidates. I respect what you're saying. Hold on, I respect what you're saying.
Okay,
I respect what you're saying, but we have to get out there and do our part.
Absolutely. So, right.
What I'm saying,
I'm not saying you.
Right.
I'm not saying you in general. I'm saying you as a whole.
I think everybody's saying the same thing, just in different ways. And I think, Ms. Della, you're saying it's important that we cannot depend on our candidates, and you're saying something that resonates, that people don't feel like it will make a darn bit of difference, so why do it? I'm from Mississippi, so I'll just leave it at that. So it's a whole new world. So that's right. And that's something, and maybe earlier my question, how do you all, and if y'all don't have an answer, every single one of y'all, I would invite you all to think about it. Every single candidate up there and countywide, y'all should be able to explain to any voter directly what your position, the role it impacts and how it impacts their daily lives. Y'all have to do it because people who are struggling, y'all gotta convince them. Y'all gotta convince them. In spite of what you're going through, this is so important. You gotta carve out those 15 minutes in early voting and early voting. I think that's the point. What can y'all do? Yes.
I say, I got some data for what she was saying and what she just said. We have to have something to where we teach people about the political system so they can understand, because some of them say, I voted in March, they didn't win. They don't understand how primaries work. We have to start it in the beginning and have times just like this to where you invite people out and say, no question is a stupid question. We're finna learn about voting.
Yes.
Right? So that way, when people go in the booths, they understand how to read a card, how to do the voting machine. We don't need to teach them the day before, hey, spin that little wheel and do it. We need to be done already done that, so y'all can get your names punched right.
Because my son, I'm sorry, my son is 34 and he went to jail when he was 17. My son didn't know that he could vote because he was a felon. And I had to teach my son, you can vote. Just because you're a felon, they told him that he couldn't vote. But his mama told him, yes, you can. And I had to teach him. This is how you vote. This is what we as parents need to open up our mouth and teach. I have 4. They're grown. But guess what we do as a family? We vote together.
Yeah, right.
We vote together as a family. And I teach my grandkids, this is what you're going to do. Guess what? When we vote, they vote at home. I'm teaching them, this is what you're gonna do. Because as parents, we have to teach them. And as so many, and parents, we don't teach. I'm just gonna be very honest, we don't. We don't teach our children. And we need to teach our children to know what it means to vote and how people died to vote.
All right.
Okay. And Junior had his hand up, and then I'll come back to you, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a suggestion to your question about your statement about Democrats who's faith, political process, and in just politics. And to the candidates, y'all know this already, but what makes you so powerful is as you're getting things done as an elected official or as a candidate, letting people know. What makes the man in the White House very powerful, unfortunately, is that he takes victory, it takes his wins, and he projects it out there. No matter what he's doing, he's gonna let you know. When Barack Obama was president, when Joe Biden was president, they did so many great things, but sometimes they never talked about it. And that's what I always tell Democrats is that as we're getting things done, no matter how big and no matter how small, tell people. Because those voters in Mississippi and Alabama, East Texas that look like us, they don't vote because they don't feel like nothing's changing. Well, we're trying to change the system, but you gotta change it slowly.
Right.
You gotta tell people what we're doing as we're doing it. And when I was serving on the city council, that's what I really tried to do. And I know the elected officials, the future elected officials out there are gonna do the same thing to help inspire our Democratic voters, just people, period, to see that politics does change your life. It may be a little slow, but when you tell people how you're changing it, then you get them engaged and get them excited and keep them involved.
And I think, yes.
This gentleman and the lady had a point. Civics education is a long-term project.
Yep.
Now, here we sit, 40 you say. I asked this young lady a question a minute ago and she had a better answer than I did. I asked how many people in here are precinct chairs? Now I said that knowing I am a precinct chair.
Yes.
Now she pointed out that there's 2 other people. That makes 3 out of 40. Now, I also, she didn't hear me apparently. Now we have 3, let's march forward. Now, on the other hand, nothing personal, I don't care about the other 2. I march forward no matter.
Yes.
Now, I am probably one of the worst precinct chairs, I always quote that. And the reason is because what this gentleman is correct about, the education starts in the neighborhood, in the community. That's what y'all been talking about. Now, unfortunately, I'm getting old. If I was younger, I could do the door-to-door stuff like I used to do. Now, one young lady up there, Tiffany, I listened to her plan last night on a Zoom meeting. She says not hers, but anyway, it's a plan. That plan uses the precinct chairs to multiply the votes. Now, I got news for you folks. Voting may not be a team sport, may have a lot of problems, may be a civics lesson. But I'll tell you one thing, it's a numerical lesson.
Yes, it is.
And Tiffany knows the numbers. And if you take from the grassroots, my neighborhood, your neighborhood. Now, granted, I'm not saying everybody has to be a precinct chair. We have 332 precinct chairs at the moment. Now, I don't know the total number because I'm thinking it's 500 or, so there's about 200 that are empty seats.
We have more than the Tarrant County GOP, I can tell you that much.
I don't care what the GOP has. I can care less. What I care about is looking at what Tiffany pointed out. She's gonna do a block walk. I heard her earlier. She's gonna figure out where the voters aren't voting and then get a team in there to do block walking, to saturate. I wish I could find the volunteers and organize it, because that's the way to win.
I think something to piggyback real fast. I think we should organize an event, you guys, with all the precinct chairs and get them energized and get the precinct chairs educated on who's running and help them understand kind of what's going on. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was a precinct chair and I ain't that old and I was not active and I didn't do well. So I'm gonna be completely honest. So I feel like we should get all the precinct chairs together and have events doing that. And then the next thing, we've been talking about civics education, civics 101, Lesa, Tiffany. We've been talking about that forever. When are we really gonna put it into play? We've been talking about it for years.
We did Civics 101.
They did.
We went all across Tarrant County, for
We're
Tarrant.
talking about this 2022.
When they did for Tarrant.
I'm talking about now.
Okay, but I'm saying, we did Civics 101.
Did it work?
And no, it didn't work because.
So, I have a question for Patrice. Patrice, is that something that the Democratic Party, the county party should spearhead? Because that's, yeah, okay. Like, the candidates are busy. And not that y'all aren't, but maybe that's something for, yeah. I was looking out for y'all. I know y'all was busy. We're gonna raffle off some more books, and then we're gonna let the candidates, if they have any events that are coming up in the next few days, tell us that, and then we're going to let all of you fine folks go home, so.
All right. Question one, how many criminal district courts does Tarrant County have?
How many what?
Criminal
How
district
many
court.
criminal district courts
You're
does
disqualified.
Tarrant County have? Raise your hand.
It's a trick question.
Oh.
No, incorrect,
Is it
Two, right?
No.
4.
incorrect.
Someone on stage did
4,
this.
6, 8.
It's 8, so go up, raise your hand.
What you say? 12.
Come on now. Say 12.
All right, come on.
Sorry, I was seeing.
All right, next question. How many, right here. Next question, how many misdemeanor courts does Tarrant County have? Raise your hand.
13.
No.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Come on, y'all, how many
Misdemeanor courts.
Hold on, let me Google.
Lisa's running for CCC 9.
Come on, y'all.
9.
Go ahead. Yes, ma'am. That's right. Come on up. That's right, 10.
I was with that too.
See, that's an education y'all can give us about how many courts and all of this.
It's 11.
We need a civics court,
Yeah.
civics lesson.
It's 11.
We need already.
Well, I only picked one, so I just said one.
Teacher got it wrong.
Right. Next question. You gotta raise your hand. What is the Fifth Amendment?
Oh, it's got a lot.
What is the Fifth Amendment?
It's kind of like they.
Go ahead, sir.
There's another part though. What's the other part? Fifth Amendment.
Yeah, I'm making it hard. Just give it.
Just give it to them. Yeah.
What is it?
It's also due process.
Process.
Something that we've stepped away from.
Yeah, we, for sure.
I don't know if any of those have been adjusted.
Know what I'll do?
All right, a few more. Who was the first black mayor and city councilman of Arlington, Texas? Okay, did you already win, Melinda?
No, I ain't going. Take Michael Jackson.
The man in the mirror, brother.
Man in the mirror.
That's Melinda.
Miss
Melinda answered that.
Melinda.
Oh, she already won. Next question. What is the Second Amendment? What is the second? She got it. The right to bear arms. Next question. Who is the first black mayor of Mansfield, Texas? Go ahead, lady in black. I can't hear you. Yes. Next,
It's a short list.
Dr. Michael Evans. Next question. Next question. What is the Fourth Amendment? Yes, sir.
To be secure in your person's property and papers.
Come on. There you go.
Illegal searches and seizures.
All right now. Yeah.
I just said it.
I guess you're ready.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't.
Yes.
Greg doesn't play.
Next question.
Yeah, she got voted out.
Who was the first black Tarrant County commissioner? Commissioner Judge.
Oh, Judge.
Who was the first black Tarrant County commissioner judge?
Glenn Lewis, Roy Bruce.
No.
I know.
I have no clue.
Before Sydney was that other guy.
Back.
You got it right.
Did they get the win on stage?
It was Deion Bags.
Somebody said it up there.
She already won. So,
I said it.
I can't help because I know Terry County. You didn't know that
how
one.
many we have left?
Roy's old boss.
Who is the first black 101 Texas House District Representative? Yes, sir.
He's in the house tonight.
No, sir.
He's in the house tonight. My brother. Come on now. Everybody get a book.
History in the room.
Everybody get a book. Everybody get a book.
All right, and here's the last question.
Yeah, just give out the rest of the book.
The Tarrant County Democratic Party has 8 black women running for office. Who are they and what office?
Okay. I want to do that.
That's a lot.
No, it's not.
It's not just for county judge. Sydney works for DA. Sit down. I don't.
No, come on,
Keep
come on.
going, keep going, keep going.
Nobody gonna know this.
Come on, keep going.
Nobody
Now, wait a minute.
gonna
Keep going.
It's just for informational purpose only.
Lisa.
Lesa Pamplin for Family Court 9.
No, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Next person.
Misdemeanor Court 9. I mean, I got the number right. Be for
Yes,
real.
you did.
Ebony Turner for House
Chris.
Rep 90.
Hold
3 or 4. Mixed. Okay, close. Crystal Gayden for Family Court.
324.
Yep, 324. Well, how many am I at?
5.
How many?
Girl, go and get that last book and be done with it.
I already said Tiffany first. I started with Lisa.
It's only one last book left, baby.
She running for the felony court, 370.
Come on, Patrice. There you go, baby.
That's only 6?
That's only 6.
2 more, baby. 2 more.
2 more black women.
What?
We're in one of their areas right now.
That, Nicole Collier,
Mhm.
Nicole Collier 95.
Come on, baby. One more strong one. I didn't hear you. Juneteenth, come on now.
Oh, Deion Sanders.
Then we're still missing one because Erica Lomick is running and now District 93. So they're actually 9.
Oh, 9. Oh, I don't know, Eric.
All right. So this wraps up Docket Dialogues tonight. Let's give Lesa Pamplin a hand, everyone. Let's give all of these candidates a hand tonight. All right, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this. I think this is very important in our communities. I wanted to be a part so that people in my age group can understand the importance of what we do.
Yes.
So,
Campaign events.
yes, anyone has campaign events?
On Monday, June 22nd, we're doing a summer season of the campaign kickoff in Azle Hall on Northside. So we'll have food, drinks, good time, music. We'll dance some more, and then we'll have a specific ways for everybody to get involved and support the campaign. So we'll hope to see you there.
On Saturday, June 20th in Arlington, at Ranjana Bandari's home, there's going to be, we're calling it a meet and greet fundraiser, but whether you give money or you give volunteer hours, they're both equally welcome. So 3:30 to 5:30 in the afternoon. I can give you the details for that.
Oh, sorry, what you got to say?
Okay, every weekend, we will be block walking.
Oh,
So go to my website,
go to
don't
their
go to my
website.
website. Go to my Facebook page or Instagram page, Tiffany Burks for District Attorney,
It's on my
and you will see where we are block walking every weekend. We are walking every weekend. And let me just say this real quick. I'm sorry, I know we got it. It really takes us about an hour to knock on 30 doors, 25 to 30 doors. It takes an hour. And we usually have a turf of about 600 or so doors. So 20 people can knock that out in less than 2 hours. So please come help us knock on these doors. It really does make a difference.
Yes, and there's a couple of, Tiffany's got one going for this Saturday, but there are 2 in HT 96. So she's got the one, the YMCA that she's spearheading, and then I'm spearheading one in Kennedale. And that is, we're meeting at the Thrive Coffee at 201 West Kennedale Parkway. So same time, 11 to 1. They're both in HT 96. So please come get in where you fit in, wherever's closer. We need all the help we can get. And I feel like it's on the calendar. It is not. I posted it.
Are all of y'all's events y'all speak of, are they on the calendar? Because I suggested to Allison that we're gonna start doing a candidate calendar and a community event calendar. So make sure that you guys are sending all of your events to her ahead of time. That way we can have a whole collective calendar and everything. I just have one request, you guys. Can everybody please come in front of this backdrop so we can all get a picture and help the Doc Bookshop, who is our gracious host for this lovely event, as well as the only Black bookstore in Fort Worth. So can we all get a community picture over here, please?
And can I get one more request? Let's give a hand for the one who we are here for, Lesa Pamplin. Just got here and doing his thing. All right, let's do this. I'm her manager, so let's do that first. Okay. All right, let's do that first, Patrice. Don't come and try to take over. Okay. Come on.
Stay tuned there. Next event, I'm trying to either
For real.
Como.
Dead ass.
If you know anybody in Como, we're trying to find a place in Como to do it. So just stay tuned, and I'll post it on the website.
Hey, y'all make sure.
I
y'all
have a fundraiser on Wednesday, the 24th at Proper on Magnolia. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but it'll be fun.
Woo!
All right, baby girl.
Y'all need money.
Yeah.
So right,
Yes.
Let's make it accessible. Make a list of candidates and how we can give them money.
Oh,
Whether
well,
it's
I
sell
just had
a cash out. I was gonna say y'all some money. Make a list of candidates and they phone numbers.
So Ronnie, how do you propose to get that out? So, like, as far as the Democratic Party post that out?
Yes.
Okay.
And
All
we
right.
just do a list on how we can get you money.
I got,
Cause,
I'm
'cause what
gonna
we need to do is
suggest
start
that.
giving money, y'all. You can say you support a candidate, but if you don't write him no check, that don't mean nothing.
Well, you gotta have it too. Some people don't got it, so we ain't gonna make no.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just
Not
saying,
have
if
it.
you can.
You can't, yeah.
I just love the passion. Absolutely, and because we have overstayed our welcome just a little bit, thank you so much, Doc Bookshop. Thank you all so much for participating, and Lesa Pamplin for sponsoring it. Good night, y'all.
Thank y'all, thank y'all. Bye, ladies.
Y'all, really fast. Come on, y'all. You tell the folks that we're doing it for the block. That's why we're doing it here. Backdrop. Everybody for a picture to show community events can be. I got it. Miss Melinda. Yes, you are. Miss Melinda, you better. Miss Melinda. I don't understand. I don't care that she's the campaign manager. What is going on here? That she's the campaign. I don't ready. No, I don't want to get in there. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I know too. Everybody together. Okay, there is hard when people think I'm the competition.
I know, I got. I am not, but I, in my precinct, I have a precinct there. You know, we have one, but yeah, so I went to Jerry, yeah. We're thinking. So nice to see him. But if I didn't have one, would I do it? Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I shouldn't have put it to the picture.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was